Sheriff Richard Mack from Arizona proved that with the Brady bill when he told them, don't come into my county, we're not going to enforce it. He had to go to the United States Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court agreed with him. So if anybody asks you who's got the power, constitutionally, it's the sheriff. Now, unfortunately, the sheriffs today would like to be police officers, apparently, because they want to have statutes that give them the right to do motor vehicle violations and other statutory things. And my message to sheriffs is, you got all the power. What are you going to the legislature to diminish yourself? If you want to be a police officer, go join the township or the state police. Let's do that. But you got all the power if you'll just exercise it to protect us. That's what their job is, to stand between us and the government. Same thing with justices of the peace. They did away with those in the 1968 change. Unbeknownst to us, it was on other matters, on the ballot question. And now they're district justices, right? But justice of the peace is a common law office which is there to ensure that the government cannot bother you unless they execute a lawful search warrant, which has to be true, correct, and complete and certain under penalty of perjury. So if they lie, guess what? They go to jail. It's a felony. A perjury is a felony. Well, they've done away with that. We need to get the structure of government back the way it is. And the one way we can do that, is to get our sheriffs in all the counties to learn what their authority is and insist that they follow the law and protect us. And if they don't, we need to replace them. Sort of like the rest of them. Right? There is an effort ongoing, and I encourage you to get involved with it, to educate our sheriffs. We have Sheriff Richard Mack coming to Pennsylvania in Butler County on October 31st. You can go and hear him at 9 o'clock on Saturday. It's $5 if you register beforehand. If you need that information, just contact me or get in touch with us, and we'll get that information to you. We hope to bring him throughout Pennsylvania, but most importantly, to get sheriffs and police officers and military aware of how powerful our sheriffs are as a matter of law. So I would encourage you to do that, to talk with your sheriffs, and if you need some help, let me know. If you haven't met your sheriff or your legislator, a great opportunity to do that is to go to your senator and say, hey, I want one of these books. In fact, I like 100 of them. I want to talk a little bit about how important this Constitution really is. And if you understand just a little bit about it, it's a powerful document. Article 1 is the Declaration of Rights. As an example, and I was talking just briefly about this, Article 1, Section 21 says, the right of the citizen to bear arms in defense of themselves and the state shall not be questioned. Is there anything unclear about those words? Now that shall not be infringed was a compromise for the federal Constitution, but the state Constitution is very clear. Article 1, Section 25 of the Constitution is reservation of powers in the people. Again, that's us. It says, to guard against the transgressions of the high powers which we have delegated, we declare that everything in this article is accepted out of the general powers of government and shall forever remain inviolate. Accepted means the government never had any authority to do anything with it. If you get an exemption, that means they had some authority to let you have it or not. But when it's accepted out, the government never had that power. And in fact, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania has settled this in a case. It's a 1903 case. It's Erdman versus Mitchell. And you can go to the law library and find this case. You can find it at 207 Pennsylvania. It starts on page 79. And the holdings are on page 80. And I'm going to be quoting from things from page 91 and 92 of that decision. But in this case, some contractors were building a building in Philadelphia, and the union wanted to strike. Some of them didn't want to quit working, and they liked making some money. And they took suit because the union was conspiring and blocking them from working, and they didn't like that, and they sued. And they went to the state Supreme Court, and the holding was this, relative to Article 1, Section 25. Under the Declaration of Rights of the Constitution of Pennsylvania, the right of the workman to the free use of his hands is a right which neither the legislature nor trade union can take from him, and one which it is the bounden duty of the courts to protect. Would that the courts of today were following that decision. By the way, this decision has never been overturned. It has been cited many, many times. Trade unions may cease to work for reasons satisfactory to their members, but if they combine to prevent others from obtaining work by threats of strike, or combine to prevent an employer from employing others by threats of a strike, they combine to accomplish an unlawful purpose, a purpose as unlawful now as it ever was, though not punishable by indictment. Such combination is despotic and tyrannical violation of the indefensible rights of labor to acquire property, which the courts are bound to restrain. It is utterly subversive to the letter and spirit of the Declaration of Rights. If such combination be accorded with the law of trade unions, then the law of the organic law of the people of a free government cannot stand together. One or the other must go down. They go on in this opinion to explain that the courts are so directed and the people were so concerned that legislatures would violate our rights by passing laws that diminish our rights, that they included this provision to ensure that the legislature would not diminish them or fritter them away. The court speaks very clearly as to the limitations on the legislature to diminish our rights. So we can stand on the law. The Constitution is a powerful, powerful document. We just need to study it and stand up together and say, as I said earlier, to anybody who attempts to infringe your right, no, we will not tolerate government's intrusion on our lives and our rights. You have to go back into the box in which you're supposed to be. As Jefferson said, be chained down by the Constitution. I would encourage all of you to continue to be involved and get others to do so. Network together. Work together as we're doing. And don't let anybody say that we don't have a right to be here, because we do. Thank you very much.